Hi again, YouTube. So I am doing the YouTube Survey 2011 that was started by Narimon, also known as Alex Day, and thought I could do my very first real vlog by doing that video tag. And well, might as well just jump right into it, right? So first question: tell us about your first kiss. This one's kind of interesting because technically the first time a boy ever actually really kissed me on the lips, I was actually in first grade. Cute little story. I was at the end of the girls line. That my teacher had us line up girls on one line and boys on the other. And I was at the end of the girls line and he was at the end of the boys line. And we were waiting in the classroom for something. I don't remember exactly why we were waiting anymore, but the teacher had us standing in line nice and quiet and we were waiting. And he all of a sudden just kind of walks up to me, grabbed me, and kissed me. And I don't know, it was kind of sweet, and I kind of liked him, and he was cute and everything. And, you know, like I said, we were in first grade, so what do we really know? But after that, he kind of said he was my boyfriend, and he gave me, like, a little gift every day, like a cereal or Cracker Jack box toy or something like that. Every day we were in school together, until his family had to move away and he transferred away a couple months later. And I never actually saw or heard from him again, which is kind of sad. But it was kind of cute, but that was technically the first time a boy ever kissed me. The first romantic post-pubescent kiss I ever had, I was about 17, and I was a bit of a late bloomer. I was kind of a geek and a nerd in school, and I was president of the computer club and things, so the boys weren't that interested in me. And I was president of I had a Doctor Who club, which I changed to a sci-fi club senior year. But junior year, we were in the Doctor Who club together, and he asked me out. And we went to a museum and spent a whole day in the museum on our first kind of, I guess, date, and walked around downtown Chicago and things. And didn't kiss me at the end of that date. I think he was too shy or something like that. But then a couple days later, something like that, he came over and hung out at my house, and I was living with just my grandma at the time, and she was out for whatever reason, I forget why, but we were just kind of hanging out, and we were sitting on the couch talking, and that's the first time he ever kissed me. And it was nice, but in retrospect, awkward, I think. But my recollection of it is probably more awkward than it was in the moment, because we had a couple more dates after that until I found out that he was actually still dating the girl he told me he broke up with, but they were still going steady. So obviously I dropped him like a hot potato, so that was interesting. But that was sort of my first prepubescent kiss and my first postpubescent kiss. In either case, both were kind of weird, I guess. But anyway, that's my life. Next question. What is the most expensive casual item of clothing that I've ever bought? That would have to be, and I have them right here, my Echo hiking sandals. I've had them for like 7 years now, and I think they still look pretty good considering I've been wearing them. Like, I wear them all summer. As soon as the weather starts getting nice, I put them on, and it's the only shoes I wear in the summer unless I'm going somewhere fancy. They're really super comfortable, and they're so durable, and they're great for just everyday wear for me. And I also, obviously, I wear them hiking and things as well, and they were like $130. So they're very casual, but they were very, very pricey, but 7 years later, and they're still in really good shape, so I think that was a good purchase for the money. Next question: what was the first job I ever wanted as a kid? I remember I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I told my mom and my grandma that I wanted to be both a ballerina and the President of the United States when I grew up. And considering how clumsy I was, they very quickly persuaded me that I was not going to become a prima ballerina. And looking back on that now, that was a silly dream, because I really am kind of clumsy and uncoordinated, and it would not have worked very well. However, the disappointing thing is the fact that my mom actually sat me down and told me that I could never be President of the United States because I was a girl. and women, girls just don't become president. She was very stuck in gender stereotypes still. She refused to wear pants, and she was a bit of an odd duck in many ways, and it was rather disappointing that she dissuaded me from trying. I mean, not that I actually would ever want to go into politics now, looking back on it, but she was very much like, you're a girl and you have to do girl things. And I think that that was probably not to my benefit in the long run. But that is what it is. And these days, I ended up becoming a web analyst. And if you're interested in web analytics or wanting to know more about that, let me know in the comments below if you're interested in learning more about what I do. I don't want to bore people, so I'm not going to go into it other than to say, hey, if you're interested, let me know. Next question. Tell us about your group of school friends. Well, as I said, I was a bit of a geek. I was always, I don't want to brag, but I was kind of a smart kid. I know people now that are way smarter than me and make me feel average and dumb. But back when I was in school, I tended to be the smarter kid in the class, and I wasn't purposely trying to rub people's noses in it. I didn't really mean to be mean about it, but I was always really excited when I got grades, and I got good grades most of the time. I got mostly A's and B's and stuff, and I would actually get really upset if I got a C, and that was usually in math and gym. Those were my only two subjects that I did very poorly in. Gym because I was so uncoordinated and just so unathletic in every way, shape, or form, and math just because it's the only subject that has stumped me to this day. I mean, statistics, I guess, is sort of related to math, and I'm good at that, but everything else math related, I'm just not really good at. I suck at it. But when it comes to history or science or any of the other subjects, I was really good at it, and I was a bit of a teacher's pet, so I didn't really make a lot of friends. I mean, I had a couple of good friends. I remember first grade, my best friend, her name was Tressa, and I was so thrilled to find her on Facebook years and years later, and we still kind of keep in touch a little bit through Facebook, which is kind of cool. And in high school, I was a member of the National Honor Society, big surprise. And so I hung out with some of those kids a little bit for lunch and things. And of course, I was president of the computer club, and I was president of that Doctor Who club and science fiction club. And I was in the German club and sign language club. And so I kind of hung out with those people a little bit, but I didn't tend to go and hang out with folks outside of school very much. I had one really good friend, freshman, sophomore year of high school. Her name was Hua Sung. And she unfortunately moved away to California, and I lost touch with her a long time ago and have never been able to find her again. But I did go and have sleepovers at her house, and I got to eat her mom's homemade Vietnamese food, and it was really cool. And so I kind of missed hanging out with her after she moved away. But other than that, I never really had a tight-knit group of friends, and it's just the way the world worked for me when I was in school. When I got older, however, I have become more open and less talkative about my achievements. I've learned that people don't like to hear that, and so I tend not to talk about them in any great detail, and so therefore people tend to not mind hanging around with me as much as they used to. Although I'm thinking some people might still. I don't know. I don't tend to see people very often except outside of parties, and there's lots of parties that folks that I know host, and I tend to get invited, so I guess they kind of like me still. So anyway, I have my boyfriend. He's lovely, and he's my best friend, and I'm happy. So in the end, that's what matters, right? Next question. What would I name my kids? Interesting question, because I'm child-free by choice. Whole nother subject that I won't go into in detail right now. The only kids I will ever have are pets. I currently have 4 of them. I have 2 cats, Baxie and Maury. Maxie's 10 years old and Maury's 9 years old. And I have, or Dave and I have 2 dogs, Lexi and Joey. And they're actually siblings. They were born at the same time. They're about 1.5 years old, and they're Aussie collie mixes. And so that's the name of my current crop of kids. And I do remember when I was little, I always thought that it would be really cool to have a daughter and name her Ariel. I do remember wanting to name a little girl Ariel at some point, but that's about, it. And I've since discovered that I really don't want kids anyway, so little Ariel will not exist except maybe as a future pet. We'll see. And final question is, who do I want to answer the survey next? Obviously anyone who's watching this who happens to be interested in vlogging, I would love to see a video response from you. Or I think it would be cool if I saw something like this from like Mika Kitty. I really love your videos, and I'd love to see you do this. Or maybe Ray William Johnson, even though, you know, Mr. Big Stuff, Mr. Popular YouTuber, you don't do these kind of things very often, but I think it would be cool to hear you do one of these survey tags at some point. You know, that's an idea. Mr. Philip DeFranco, also, I wouldn't mind hearing you do one of these. Maybe when you get back from Europe. I know you're kind of busy right now. Anyway, those are the folks I wouldn't mind hearing from on this tag, maybe. Yes or no, it doesn't matter. If you're interested in doing this, whether I've named you or not, please feel free. And if you do it, please leave it as a video response. Or you know, if you're not going to do it, at least leave a comment and let me know what you think. And well, until next time, bye.